What's happening, everybody out here coming at you from sunny Southwest Florida. Today's a beautiful sunny day here in Florida, and it's roughly about 9 o'clock in the morning. And on my way into work this morning, I remember when I left the house, it was about 87 degrees. By the time I got here, it was 90 degrees, and now it's up over 90. It's probably about 93. Now this is a typical day here. We have days like this for 5-6 months out of the year. And I mentioned in a previous video that I'm going with a killer chiller system for this car because I see that it's just not worth it to go any further with the mods until I get my IATs down. I know from my experience with this car, with the Stage 1 kit, on a day like today at 90 degrees, it doesn't run all that well. I mean, it runs pretty good, but it doesn't run as good as it does when it's 80 degrees. Like when I drive the car at night and it's cool, it runs better. So I decided to put a killer chiller system on the car. The hardware came in and I want to show it to you, so let's go inside and take a look. Okay guys, so here's the box that the killer chiller comes shipped in. You can see right there, Kincaid Performance. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to put this thing on a scale. We're going to weigh it. Okay, so we got our scale and we're just going to drop the box on a scale, see what it weighs. Alright, so we're looking at roughly 15 pounds. I'm going to say the kit itself is probably less than that because of all of the packaging, but I figure maybe a pound or a pound and a half for the packaging. So roughly 13 and a half pounds, 14 pounds for the kit, for the hardware minus the fluids. That's how much weight we're adding to the car. Alright, so we're just going to open up this box and see what's inside. Okay, we got some directions here. Items are very well packed up. Let's pull these items out here and get them up on the bench. All these nice hoses and parts and pieces. All right. Okay guys, so I have all the parts and pieces to the killer chiller system here laid out on the table. And it comes with all the necessary hardware. You can see it's got all the hoses that you need. It comes with this little guy right here. This is a race kit. Now with this little solenoid, what this thing is designed to do is shut the AC off in the cabin. Basically this is a race kit. This is used for the track. And sometimes when you get to the track, they don't want the condensation dripping on the ground, on the track. So this enables you to shut your AC off in your cabin, stops that condensation, and the chiller will still work under the hood. You can do your run, and at the end of the run you can turn your AC back on with the use of this solenoid. But this is a really nice kit. It comes with all nice fittings. These are all 3/16 stainless steel fittings. Look at that, nice looking fittings. Even the clamps. These clamps are also stainless steel. All the fittings look like that. Here they are in the bag. The whole kit comes all comprised with fittings that are all very high quality. Now, here's the main thing with the kit. This is the KC system. Basically what this is there's a little evaporator core inside this little device. And basically what it does is it accepts the Freon from your AC compressor. It cools the evaporator core. Your intercooler fluid flows through this, gets cooled, and then sent over to your intercooler by your blower and drops your IATs quite a bit. This is a race kit. This kit in this form is capable roughly of dropping your IATs, or your intercooler fluid I should say, to roughly 50 degrees give or take. It's all relative to ambient. So if your ambient is not that high, your intercooler fluid temperatures will be a little lower than they would be on a very hot day. Now I live in Southwest Florida where the temperatures are very hot for many months out of the year. I would say from mid to late May all the way to mid-October we have temperatures roughly at 93 degrees. So basically what I did, because of the climate that I live in, I decided to actually get an upgraded kit. The kit that I got actually comes with 2 KC systems. Why did I do this? Well, because I feel like if I'm going to do it, I got to do it right. It really wasn't that much more of a cost, and I saw a huge benefit just to have this in the car. The way these things work, they work in tandem. Your intercooler fluid will flow through this one, and then once that fluid has been cooled, it will then flow through the second one. Probably drop the intercooler fluid another 20 degrees after it passes through both KC systems. Now, this is a very nice kit, guys. I'm very impressed with the components that come with this kit. We're going to get it on the car probably in the next couple of weeks. You know, being that I'm not an expert on these things, I would encourage anybody who's interested in something like this to call Joe over at Killer Chiller. He's a really nice guy. I've talked to him for hours about this kit. I wanted to know everything I could know about it before I decided to put my credit card down. And I was convinced after talking to him that this is a system that's going to work for me. And like I say, in my climate, I don't see it beneficial to do anything with this car before putting the Killer Chiller on it, because really, on an 80-degree day, the car runs pretty good. On a 90-degree day or above 85 degrees, the car doesn't run so good. So it doesn't really make any sense at all to make the investment to go to stage 2 and try to make more power when, you know, it's just getting too hot and it's not a good environment to make power. But with a kit like this, okay, with 2 KC systems dropping my intercooler fluid as, you know, maybe as low as 30 degrees. We'll see over time if that, you know, how this thing really works out. That'll give me the basis of what I need in that car to then step up to the stage 2, bring it for some tuning, and really try to make some power. Now, yeah, so if anybody who's interested in this kit and wants to, you know, more information about it, give Joe a call over at Killer Chiller. He's a really nice guy. He's been doing this for 20 years. He's very knowledgeable. He likes to talk, so it's, you know, he's a cool guy to talk to, and he'll answer all your questions and you know, just you know, you can get it straight in your mind really what these kits are capable of doing. I think it's a great upgrade. And so yeah, so one of the things we're going to do now, because it's going to take a couple of weeks for me to get this on the car, we're going to go over to 5 Bar this afternoon and put my car on the dyno. We did a baseline pull on this car when we first put the blower on it over at Steeda. It was a very hot day that day. It was something like 93, 94 degrees. We put it on the dyno. It was a dyno jet, and we were trying to get good numbers at it. We had the hood open, we had fans blowing on it, we let it cool down, and we managed to get 638 horsepower to the rear wheels, and I think it was 486 pound-feet of torque. Decent numbers, can't really complain, but what we're going to do today is we're going to put it on the dyno and try to duplicate real-world situation with the car, because you don't drive the car with open hood. And you know, in the case of my car, we see my IATs jumping above 170 degrees. So I could just imagine taking my car to the track. No, you're in the burnout box, you're doing a burnout, you're staging, all of this time. This thing is going to heat up like crazy, and then whatever power you could deliver at that point is what I want to see on the dyno. So we're going to put it on the dyno with closed hood and let the car heat up, and then do a dyno pull and see what it does on Joe's dyno, because he has a Mustang dyno, and we can compare the numbers. And that would basically be our baseline. And then once we get the Killer Chiller on the car, we'll then put it on the dyno, the same dyno. Hopefully the temperatures are about the same ambient, and we can see what the differences are just by dropping the IATs with this system. So yeah, so let's head over to 5 Bar. Let's see how she does on the dyno. Okay guys, unfortunately I got held up at work and I wasn't able to get the car on the dyno this afternoon. But I should be able to get it in next week and do some dyno pulls and see what she puts down. Now we'll do some baselines, and then we'll have that on record to see, you know, what the comparison is between what we're making right now without the Killer Chiller and then what we're going to make with the Killer Chiller. So there's a lot more to come. Stay tuned. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.